Welcome to episode 26 of the Group Ironman progression series. Last episode we did a whole lot of medium clue grinding, we did some raids, got our first purple, and in this episode we are going to try our hand at a few attempts of the inferno. I'm not sure how far we'll get, but the idea will be to do like one inferno every day. So like this could be a long grind for me, but at the end of it we do get the best in slot melee cape, the infernal cape. Right now I'm doing some slayer because I need to be AFK for a bit, and we're killing frost dragons and collecting their bones, so let's get into it. Alright, got nothing really much from those frost dragons, but one big thing that you actually kind of need in the new meta of doing the inferno, especially when you're learning, is making prayer regeneration potions. And to do that you need the new herb from Varlamore, Huascas, which I have a bunch of seeds for. I've just never made it because I've never had the need to make prayer regen potions, but now I do. So what I gotta do is get these Huascas harvested for the herbs, and I also need to do the mini game mastering mixology so that I can get the secondary for the potion called Aldarium. So I'm thinking I'm going to be doing a bit of mastering mixology quite often, just to keep those prayer regens topped up while I do the inferno grind. Alright, first things first, I did not realize that when I had all of my, I don't know how many kill count of the fight caves I believe I have more than 8 fire capes, and I sacrificed a bunch of them to try get the Jad pet during the previous bingo for my clan. So, with that being said, I have to sacrifice my only, my only fire cape in so that I can work towards getting my infernal cape, which in a way is kind of funny, but it's basically locking me into this content until I get it. Definitely I could go and do other stuff without the cape, but I would like to have a fire cape if I was doing raids or something like that. So yeah, we gotta sacrifice the cape, and then we can start trying out attempts. I'm gonna get my gear together, and let's see how far we can get in the first day. Before we hop in and actually start clearing waves, I'm no expert at the Inferno, but I'm just going to give you a little description of how the Inferno works. So this is the arena of the Inferno, and in the Inferno you are facing wave-based monsters, similar to how the fight cave works. Only difference is that this time around you have these 3 pillars that are located on the screen. These 3 pillars are going to be your mission on basically the first 68 waves or 67 waves of the Inferno. You do not want these pillars to die. Sometimes your pillars are gonna die, so it's not the end of the world, but the main pillar that you do not want to destroy is this one right here, which is the north pillar. This one is going to be your home for the next 68 waves. You do not want this pillar to go down at any cost. Now, the south pillar, I would say, would be your secondary priority here. You do not want your south pillar to be destroyed either, as it might come in handy in later waves when sometimes the north pillar is not going to work for a solve, especially for your first time. And then we come to the west pillar. The west pillar, not so important, but it is primarily used for a distraction for every wave when the nibblers come. The more the nibblers go to this pillar right here, the more likely it is to not come for these 2 pillars. So in that sense, it plays a pivotal role in the Inferno grind too. But it's not the end of the world if your west pillar dies. Now onto the waves themselves. So we'll start with the mob that appears in every single wave up until the Jads start spawning, and they are called the nibblers. And as you can see, the nibblers are quite small, but basically at the start of every single wave, 3 of these will spawn, and they will pick a pillar and they'll go towards it and start attacking it. So in an ideal scenario, you want to be freeze barraging these pretty much the second they spawn. Sometimes you're going to fail and it's going to make it to the pillar, and you can make a decision whether it's safe to try finish them off or to kill the rest of the wave first before dealing with the nibblers. I would say, especially in the early waves, you want to be killing these nibblers before they even touch the pillars. That is your priority. So that is the nibblers. Another thing about about the nibblers is anytime there is a double monster, so if there is 2 bats, let's say, after the 2 bat wave, instead of 3 nibblers spawning, 6 will spawn and they'll all go for 1 pillar, and that'll happen in between every double mob up until the double majors themselves. So look out for that also, as they might, if they do get to your pillar, all 6 of them, they will take a decent chunk out of your pillar. Mob is debatably the easiest mob, and we're gonna call it the bat. In the fight caves, the bat would hit you and it would drain your prayer, even through praying melee. These guys you have to pray range against, and they attack every 3 tick cycles, so they attack fairly quick compared to everything else in Inferno, and they drain your stats. They don't drain your prayer, they drain your stats. So this can create weird scenarios. If they drain your stat below 94, then you can't ice barrage the nibblers, so you gotta watch out for that if you are not a high level magic. I'm 99 magic, so obviously that doesn't matter for me, but I've seen this scenario affect a lot of players where they go below 94 mage and then suddenly the barrage doesn't work and they get pulled around the pillar because it doesn't do anything and it tries to melee you. These mobs are fairly simple, and they have a very low range on their line of sight, so they can't really hit you. There's like certain safe spots that you can hit them from and they can't hit you from. So nice and simple mob here. To the next mob, and we refer to this mob as the blob. This mob is going to get you killed the most, in my opinion. I think it's between this and the meleeer that complicates waves. Very simple mob by itself. How you fight it is it operates on a 6 tick cycle, but on every 3rd tick of its attack cycle it looks at what prayer you have and it will do the opposite attack between mage and range. So how you combat this is simply switch your prayer every 3 ticks. If you're not good at counting ticks, there's lots of plugins that will visually show you each tick go by so that you can change your prayers on time. But I give it maybe one, just a little bit over 1 second, and I'll switch my prayer after I know it's decided to attack. So very simple by itself, but the complication with this monster and why it gets you killed so much is, let's say you're going up against a ranger and a blob at the same time and you have to tank the 2. You have to be able to alternate your prayers between range and mage so that the blob is in cycle with the ranger, so he's attacking you with a range attack at the right time, and that's where the problem kind of becomes an issue. But again, I will show examples of how these waves can be solved in simple ways, as there's methods where you can 1-tick alternate between mage and range, and you'll always be on cycle. I was having issues with these methods, so I kind of did the lazy way, and I will show these methods at some point. Another thing about the blob is that when they die, they split into 3 smaller blobs. One that attacks you with melee, one that attacks you with range, and one that attacks you with mage. And these are generally quite easy to deal with. They do hit you, so you want to get them killed as quickly as possible, but they are not a priority in terms of prayer. So if you're tanking a major, you just want to try kill these things as fast as possible while tanking a mage. You want to pray mage and just kill the ranger and the melee as quickly as possible. And that is the blob. Mob that you have to deal with is the meleeer. Now this one, like I said, is debatably another mob that gets you killed a lot, and it is just because of the nature of the meleeer. So the meleeer is very simple, obviously. By itself, you can pray melee, and when it attacks you, you won't take damage. You can safe spot the meleeer pretty handily as well by standing behind the pillar and just shooting it with your bofa. It's very simple. The complication comes when you are dealing with lots of other enemies and the meleeer is left idle for a while. If the meleeer is left idle for long enough, it will burrow into the ground and it will appear on your tile. So there's lots of ways you can deal with this. You can kind of bait it into a specific tile and then you can safe spot it again, or hopefully you can move in such a way where you're only tanking the meleeer. So there's lots of ways you can deal with the meleeer, but just know that there are certain waves where you just have to pray to the RuneScape gods while you're praying other things. Like, let's say you're praying mage against a major, and you just need to kill this meleeer as quickly as possible with your blowpipe. That's kind of like your emergency solution to these meleeers. Ideally, we can let it burrow in a certain way where you can safe spot it yet again. And worst comes to worst, while you have a safe spot, if you kill it, it makes the waves even easier. Now on to one of our bigger mobs, and this one is the Ranger. And unlike the Ranger in the fight caves, this one hits extremely hard and can melee you if you're in melee distance too. So obviously the recommendation is to pray range against this guy and kill it as quickly as possible. It's very glass cannon, so it's very weak in terms of you hitting it, but it will hit you hard if you're off prayer. Their complicated waves obviously come in when you're dealing with rangers, blobs, or melees all at the same time. Other than that, he's not a very complicated mob, but the whole complicated wave section is what makes these guys a problem. Kill them quick and you don't really need to deal with them that much. And now the final mob before we get to the Jad waves, and it is the Major. The Major has one rule that I would always say, and it's if the Major is attacking you, never pray anything else other than pray mage. Obviously you can alternate your prayers if you have monsters that are off cycle, but as a priority I would say try not to mess up the pray mage part, because the Major will hit you so hard and get you out of the arena straight away. Yeah, the Majors hit hard, but the simple part about it is just pray mage and you can kill it. Another thing about the Major is that if you kill a mob before the Major and you're attacking the Major, every time it has an attack cycle choice, it can also has a chance to resurrect that mob that you killed. So you might end up having to fight a bunch of mobs that you just killed in the wave if you don't kill the Major first. So if at all possible, kill the Major first, because then there's no resurrection going on. The final mob before Zook is the Jad, which we have fought in the fight caves before, but as you can see, this Jad looks very different to the Jad that you're used to. This Jad is stronger in terms of defenses and hits harder, so you do not want to miss a prayer on this Jad. And that's on wave 67, which is the first Jad, and it spawns actually 5 healers I think as well. Then in wave 68 you have to fight 3 Jads all at once, so that is kind of terrifying too. But yeah, 3 Jads, and then after the triple Jad wave you are finally, after all of these grueling waves, onto Zook. At wave 69, what this has all been working towards is fighting this guy right here, Zook. And I'll run through like how the fight works a little bit more when I get to Zook, or if I get to Zook I should say. But yeah, you go through a grueling 68 waves, and then your final wave is debatably a very difficult part of the fight, and with all your resources drained, you need to make do with what you have. And yeah, so Zook as a final boss is pretty epic. But once you defeat Zook, you have yourself an Infernal Cape. That is the rundown of all the mobs. So let us get into some of the waves and my progress, and maybe my gear setup as well, for what I think should be like an optimal gear setup for the kind of gear that I have. All right, after looking at an extensive No Monkey video on budget guides for the Inferno, I have pieced together my gear for the Inferno. I'm gonna take his advice and go for a light bearer and prayer boot, but in my head I kind of wanted to get a bit more tanky, like a Ring of Suffering or something, but we're gonna play around with the light bearer first and see if that's better. And yeah, but this is what we're looking at: full Bofa, Confliction Gauntlets and the Ancient Scepter so that we can land freezes, and Blowpipe for killing the meleeer as quickly as possible, as well as the healer phase in the Zook wave. But yeah, gear is ready to go. We're gonna make some prayer regen pot, and we're gonna send our first attempt at the Inferno. Now on to attempt number 1. Kind of hard to show you the entire attempts. To put it into perspective, as you can see here on the timer, I'm 47 minutes here into this wave, and we're only in the level 30 waves realistically. So yeah, I'll be showing mostly highlights and maybe like some tips and tricks as we go along, like alternate ticking and how I deal with like pretty bad waves. And I'm sure I'll be showing all of the deaths that I have as well, because no reason not to show some failures and maybe like post review it and kind of say like what I could have done better in those scenarios. Like this scenario right here, this is such a shit show. I should have killed the blob here because the ranger is actually stopping the melee from coming in and attacking me. So now I have the melee and the blob on me, and he hits me at 48. I start panicking. I run over to this blob here, block him again, but now I'm still praying melee. The blob hits me at 25, and it's just it just becomes a shit show. I start healing crazy, and eventually the major blob takes me out. But solid attempt. I got to wave 31, which wave 31 is actually considered one of the harder waves because it has 2 blobs at once, which always causes complications. So that's the PB so far, wave 31. Here is a great example of having to deal with a blob while also dealing with one of the bigger mobs, like the major. The idea behind this is that both of these monsters get LOS on you at the exact same time. You should be able to pray mage for the major, obviously, and then the second you see that attack animation go off, you start flicking range mage every 1 tick, as you can see here, and it's supposed to basically set up the blob perfectly that you're always blocking his attack and then being back on prey mage for when the major attacks. As you can see, I still need to actually get better at this, but that is the general idea, and it's what complicates these waves, especially in the later waves like these 40 odd waves. Second attempt of the day for day 1, and we are on wave 44. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to kill all the nibblers there, and I said I'd let that one just attack it while I deal with these rangers. My supplies aren't looking too great, so I'm trying to just push as high of a wave as possible to get the experience. Problem is then the meleeer burrows, and I'm like, oh crap, so I move so he's safe spotted. As you can see, he can't hit me here. Then I forget that I'm supposed to be praying mage, not pray range, and I start panicking like crazy, so I rotate around, and the meleeer slaps me up then for the 26. Unfortunate. I think the nerves got to me there, honestly. We will roll on to the next day. I'm going to be trying not to do too many attempts in one day, basically. Go for attempt number 3. Here's a great example of when the nibblers don't die in one shot, like one gets away. Because I'm not in the later waves, I would say after wave 51, when you're dealing with a major and a ranger throughout every single wave, you probably want to leave the nibbler until you solve the wave. But until that point, you want to try keep your pillar as healthy as possible. So you can see me just greeting while I'm praying range. I'm just running and trying to kill the nibbler, even though I'm gonna take some HP, because I can always heal up with the barrage at the very end with the last mob. I usually like to leave the ranger last because you can heal off him pretty well. And here's another good example of the 1 tick alternating. When you're dealing with just double blob, it's a lot easier. So you can see how you're kind of just waiting for the prayer to turn off, and that's when you press the next prayer, basically. Another instance where I have to try tank a meleeer while I'm still praying range on a ranger. I managed to get the flick off there, but he hits me 28 then, and then it's over. Unfortunate, but we live and we learn. Could have rotated to the other pillar there to save myself, but in the heat of the moment right now, I seem to be getting caught up in it. This is the official attempt number 3, because attempt number 3 was short-lived. I wasn't really locked in at all. I only got to like wave 20. So yeah, let's give it a go and see if we can do better this time. So if I haven't shown already, of the meleeer and how you can trap him by corner trapping him here. When he burrows and you're standing around this side of the pillar, you can run back to this start tile that I have marked, and the meleeer can't hit you, but you can hit him. It's a really, really useful tool, especially if like you're dealing with a major, so you can pray mage and kill the meleeer without taking any hits from him. This death right here was just unfortunate. I need to really focus up on getting good at praying the blobs, as I clearly didn't pray the blob right here. And I died for it. Luckily, I wasn't too far in again, so it is what it is. We'll just resupply and go again. A great example of rotating to the other pillar. I should have just ran to the other pillar here. I try do it after a while, and I get punished for it, as I do start getting hit by the blobs, unfortunately, and then we eventually die here. So it's unfortunate, but definitely something I need to get used to is rotating correctly, as it seems like I struggle kind of big time with that.
And you're telling me the melees don't hit? Like, that's absolute horseshit. That is absolute horseshit. What the fuck? What wave did I even get to now? 27. Jesus. This is attempt number... I've lost count, but we are trying to break through the brick wall of wave 31 that I seem to be getting stuck on. So let's hope we can do that. We have completed wave 44, so that is a PB. So that is an achievement, at least for today, even if I die in this wave. Ooh, I hate tanking that melee just based on how often he hits me. Holy. I wonder how possible it is to heal off these guys. Hold on. I'm gonna guess very little, but I'm gonna try anyway. Like, what is that? The fucking melee always hits me hard. Right now I have to kill this major before he reses him again, because that shit is whack. Like, 41, 26? Like, what is this meleeer? What is this meleeer? Come on. That is insanity. Insanity that was. And now the fucking meleeer is back. Oh my god. This might be a brew up angle. Oh, right. What wave are we on even? This is 48, so I think it gets a little bit easier now for a little bit. Alright. Wave 50. I believe I might tank a range hit here, but other than that, it should be a handy enough wave. Nope. We cleared it. Nice. Oh, Jesus. Whew. That is a wave 55 PB. I'm happy with that. We pushed it pretty far. I'll look back at the footage and see what the solve is for that scenario, because that was a bit rough. I just seen the blob on the west, and that was GG. Alright. Happy with that though. I'm gonna go make some more prayer regen pots at the Mastering Mixology minigame. Attempt after replenishing our prayer regens, and we got it pretty deep again. We're in the high 50s because we have majors and rangers, and I was left with this kind of horrible wave where I had a blob on one side and blob on the other side. So I knew I was gonna have to rotate around to the major and then start alternating the blob, but I'm just still not very good at alternating these guys, so I took a couple of off prayer hits and perished.
showed off an example of this yet, but here's a good example of where I have to pray range against the ranger and just face tank the melee as much as possible and kill it as quickly as possible with the blowpipe before he deals damage to me. I'm finding a lot of the time he actually does hit very hard, so you want to try get him out of there as quickly as possible. Clip, I'm going to show the ranger and major trick. When you have a tower stack like this, it's actually super easy. You stand in the middle of the pillar and you click the very back mob. You should run out automatically and start attacking the back mob. In this instance, it's the major, and you want to kill the major first because obviously the major can res. And what you do is you pray mage, because the major is going to see you first. The second you see the little light underneath the major flickers, that's when you can change to pray range to protect yourself from the ranger. It's fairly simple. It might take you a little bit to get used to, but that kind of prayer alternating is much easier than even alternating the blob and a major, let's say. Now it's time to showcase one of the hardest waves I consider, which is wave 63. This is when you have every single mob plus a double blob. And I actually got pretty lucky with these spawns to start off, but yeah, this wave will be your downfall. If you get a bad spawn, I'd highly recommend you try rotating pillar and trying to tank as much as you can while you're doing that. It is your best way for your first time to try get through this wave, basically. But as you can see, I got a pretty nice spawn where I was able to rotate around the pillar when the meleeer burrowed for me, and then I just had to kill these bats, and then I was just able to kill the major, and I would have the meleeer permanently trapped now, basically. So it was pretty handy, I would say. Your wave 63, it basically gets easier from there as you go from having basically every mob into having one ranger, two meleeer, one major, and that's a lot easier than every other mob with the blobs and everything like that. Then from that wave you go into two rangers, one major, and that's again much easier again. And then into that goes double major. Once you know you get to double major, you are basically at the Jad waves then. And I don't have to go over the single Jad that much, but once you clear the single Jad, you have to face 3 Jads at once, and that is something I needed to practice for. So at the end of my Jad run, I logged out, as you can do this in the Inferno. At the end of every wave, you're allowed to get a logout basically, and I decided to boot up the Inferno simulator so I could practice the triple Jad wave and get very clean with it before I went in for the first time ever on the triple Jads. And after practicing a shit ton on the simulator, I decided to send the triple Jads. And for whatever reason, my dumbass forgot to record the very first attempt of my triple Jads. But I'll reenact it as much as I can through words. Let me tell you, it was clean as hell. I definitely did not tank a Jad hit. No sir, definitely did not tank a Jad hit, I promise you. But yeah, we did it. We cleared, we got to the very last Jad, and obviously when you get to the last Jad, it's very easy, it's very simple again. So I decided to finish that off, and then I logged out so that I could practice Zook now on the exact same Inferno trainer. The simulator is super useful. Again, I use the simulator for the Coliseum, and I would just absolutely highly recommend that you use a simulator for your first try, especially for the Inferno. Like, you're in there for like more than 2 hours most likely for your very first attempt. Like, why not try give yourself the best possible chance possible at beating the Inferno. As you can see before I log out here, my supplies are not looking good. So this Zook attempt is most likely going to be a death, but I have to try it anyway, just because it's worth the experience, I guess. Like, it's worth getting that feeling of being at Zook done so that we can shake off some nerves straight away. But yeah, the supplies that I have, it's just, I don't even think it's possible, just because the healing phase hurts so much and I only have 1 dose of brew. But we will make do anyway. And hopefully we can get a little bit of experience at Zook. Very happy that I finally made it to Zook. I don't know how many attempts it's been. I'll probably put it on the screen just so that people know, and I know myself while editing this. But yeah, hyped. Let's use the simulator and let's lock in for this Zook attempt. All right, let us run through how the Zook fight actually happens. So there is this barrier that moves from side to side. It'll randomly decide if it goes left or right at the very start, and your goal is to stay behind this at all costs. This protects you from Zook's hits. As you can see here, the projectile flies and hits the barrier instead of you. These tiles are to help you like use these like little checkpoint tiles to stand behind, as this is when Zook actually attacks you until the enrage phase. After one full rotation of the barrier moving left to right, when you get back to your starting corner, a set will spawn, and a set is a major and a ranger, and they actually target the pillar first. So your main priority is to get them off the pillar as quickly as possible. In this instance, I leave the major attacking the barrier because I know my supplies are so shit, and I start killing the ranger as quickly as I possibly can. That is your goal. You want to double blowpipe spec and just get this ranger out so that you can start praying mage and aggro the major. This should mean that the pillar doesn't take as much damage. Obviously in this instance my pillar almost dies, because in an ideal scenario you kill the ranger a lot quicker and you target the major before he destroys your pillar. You're then gonna want to get Zook down below 600 HP, as what I haven't explained about this fight yet is that once the set spawns, there is an invisible timer that starts at 3 minutes and 30 seconds. This timer stops when you get Zook down to 600 HP. At this moment, you're able to kill the major and then get ready for the next phase of Zook. Once you kill the major and the timer has paused, you want to get Zook down to 480 HP. Once you trigger the 480 HP mark, your next obstacle is dealing with a Jad while staying behind the pillar. The timer starts again from the set, except it adds an invisible 1 minute and 45 seconds to it. So this is so that you can kill Jad as quickly as you possibly can, and once you do that, you usually can determine how much time you have left before the next set. If you have plenty of time, you should trigger the healers at 240 HP and obviously kill the healers as quickly as you possibly can, so that once the healers are cleared, if the next set spawns, it's nice and easy to deal with. Just do exactly how you did it in the first set. If you can get through all of that, including the second set, then basically it's smooth sailing from there. You have 3 minutes and 30 seconds to finish Zook off. So that is nice and easy. That is basically the gist of the Zook fight. And obviously talking about it, it's a lot easier than it seems, but it is absolutely nerve-wracking being here. Obviously with my supplies being so low, I just wanted to see how far I could get, and honestly I think I did pretty well. Like we got through to Jad and then obviously because it took me so long to try kill Jad, a second set spawned in the middle of it all, so I am of course expecting to die here, but very very good attempt considering I had no supplies and I got my feet wet, so I cannot complain. We actually made it to Zook. That is a massive personal best, and obviously I'm not going to get to Zook every attempt here, but it's a good sign that I can get there often enough to get this done. I got this. I fucking got this. I can do this. I'm so happy. Woo! Okay, we made it to Zook last time, so I don't expect to get to Zook again in this attempt, but we gotta keep going, so let's fucking do it. No. 62, not bad. Not bad. We'll take it. On this attempt, we have a classic encounter of having to deal with the fighter while praying something else. And I think I need to rethink my strategy towards this, because I think with the gear that I have, I'm just not tanky enough to tank zeros off the meleeer enough to kill him. Like, I seem to always get max hit by this guy. Or hit high in general. So yeah, we're gonna have to rethink the strategy of like just blow piping down the meleeer. Like maybe in this scenario, I should just be rotating pillar so that the meleeer is safe. In hindsight, I could have rotated around and just dealt with the bot blob as well, but yeah, in the moment I'm like, okay, time to blow pipe the meleeer, and I die because of it. It's unfortunate, but these are all just learning aspects of the Inferno, so we gotta get through it death by death. As long as I look back and kind of analyze the clip and kind of see what I could have done better, we should just get better and better every single attempt. Even if it seems like I'm regressing, I'm just going to keep pushing forward with any new learnings that I have. So yeah, maybe from now on I'm going to try deal with meleeers by getting to another pillar and resetting the stack so that I can deal with the meleeer by himself. Alright, and as you can see, our next attempt, we make it all the way to the Jad Waves, which is nice to get here so quickly after getting to Zook in the first place. So this could potentially be another Zook attempt. So let's see. That's the single Jad out of the way. Now on to the triple Jads. To show the previous attempt of the triple Jads, I get to show it off now, and this is what it looks like. 3 Jads spawn, and you just got to pay attention to the rotation. So as you can see, the one on my left starts, so it goes in anti-clockwise then, and you're just following each one, praying accordingly. It's actually very simple once you get like the experience of it, but for your first time ever doing triple jabs, it can be a little bit daunting, obviously. But the healers are actually really nice in triple jabs because there's only 3 healers, so it's quite nice. I actually took a hit there, and the panic just starts setting in then for the rest of this entire triple jab attempt, unfortunately. But yeah, I think I tanked 2 hits off prayer, and at that point my HP is just so low, I'm like panicking real hard. And yeah, unfortunately we do perish because of this. But solid attempt nonetheless. I got to triple jads. I really do think getting through the waves first, like getting past wave 63, is the hard part of this grind, and everything else is just practice makes perfect then. Alright, we got the triple jads last time, which means we are indeed improving on our wave management. So let's get back in there today and see if we can get past triple jads, or even get back to triple jads, because that's the hard part really. Do that. Sometimes I do try practice the 1 tick alternating between a blob and another monster in the arena, and this is an instance where I actually did it perfectly. Usually I seem to be having like these weird ping spikes that kind of mess up the cycle, so I've kind of resorted to doing the lazy way, where you go around the corner, shoot the mage once, and then go behind the pillar and switch to prey range so that the blob hits you with the range. But it is nice to see an improvement here. Like, I am doing the 1 tick alternating perfectly here. It's just not very often do I do it perfectly, and I usually get hit for it, so I've stopped doing it, but I try it from time to time. Sometimes you're gonna have some silly death, and in this instance I ran out praying range, so major hits me, I switched to prey mage, then blobs hit me with 2 range attacks, and yeah, we out of there. Oh, why? Why am I doing all these weird mistakes? Oh my god. Are we really hitting like that? Fuck me! Oh Jesus. Alright. Then we go here like this, and we're gonna go boom. Okay, and then we're gonna go boom. And then we're gonna go boom. Oh! That one was doomed to fail from the fucking get-go. How scuffed was that? The pillars were fucked, everything was fucked. Oh no. No. Heal, please, please, please heal. Kill, kill, kill. Oh my god. Alright, we are on the triple chance. So the best way to do it is the same way what we did when we did the Colosseum, which was a trainer. And luckily for the Inferno, it's been around a lot longer. So this Inferno trainer actually allows you to train a bunch of different waves, not just the final fight. And so I'm going to be practicing some triple jads, and we'll see how we get on. I've obviously cleared triple jads before, but it's good to practice so that you're kind of in the zone. So I'll just show you what it looks like. If I just replay wave there, does that work? New wave. And then this should load in the triple jads for me, should it? Yes, it does. And there you have it. So that's how it works. And obviously I died straight away. It's a little bit kind of, doesn't feel exactly like the main game, but I think that's a good thing, because then you kind of, it prepares you for the worst basically. But yeah, this is the triple jad setup. I hope, as long as I just don't make one mistake, I'll be able to do it, because I can get the prayers pretty down nicely. Took a hit there, but I got lucky because they hit me at 25. But yeah, as long as I just stay in the zone, stay locked in, I should be fine. Let's see how our triple jad attempt goes. Alright, we did it. Hell yeah. Whew, we actually made it back to Zuck, which means yet again I'm going to go into the simulator for the exact same thing that I showed you with the triple jads, but I'm going to practice on Zuck now just to get a feel of what it's going to be like. Obviously I did it before, but I kind of YOLO'd that one because if you remember, I had 0 restores going into the actual fight, and I had like 1 dose of Sour Brew or something. So I kind of knew I wasn't actually going to live in that Zook attempt. But now, you know what? I feel like it's possible. So, right, we're going to organize the inventory so that my stuff doesn't get really messed up. And we are going to brew up. And then we're going to log out, obviously. Okay. And then I think we are going to range pot. And we're going to log out and try this Zook trainer. Alright. I'm as ready as I'll ever fucking be. Let's give this a go. See what happens. Did we pot up? I hope so. We did. Very nice. Oh. Okay, 480 HP, and we killed Jack. Oh, he's already here. Okay. No way. I knew it.
Nope.
No. The set spawn was just there. I just should have waited. Oh, I made it all that way for that. Like, I fucking knew it. I literally fucking knew it. I knew the set was spawning and I just didn't wait. Ah, that's so frustrating. Alright. We died at the healer phase because we let the set spawn, so we are going back in to do it all again, see if we can get back to Zook, and this time we'll just wait for the second spawn and try do it right. Alright. Yeah. I'm gonna call this era the death, or not the death. I'm gonna call this era the tilt era. I went through so many deaths. I'm not even showing all of them on screen. I'm just showing you a few of them that in particularly tilted me for various different reasons and made me start thinking, like, why was I doing this? But during this tilt phase, I did get to Zook a good few times. 2 times in particular. But obviously, I'm calling it the tilt era for a reason. I shouldn't have gotten these kills. Like, I tanked a Zook hit in one of them, but lived. I made it to the healer phase, but I just kind of fumbled for whatever reason. Like, the nerves got to me. But mostly was just the tilt, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, so I decided to take a step back at this point. I was worried I was kind of like just doing this because I wanted to get it done. And that's not why I play RuneScape. I play RuneScape to have fun and to set myself a goal and complete it. So I decided to take a step back and I would start only doing one attempt a day from now on, as it's just not good for the mental to just keep throwing yourself in and dying. Like, obviously I only showed like 5 deaths here, including the 2 attempts that I didn't get at Zook, and like, you know, like, it's like 2 hours out of your day if you make it to Zook, where you just don't get anything for it really, unless you want to toggle, but that's not for me. But yeah, like, I just had to shift my mental state here because, like, again, like, I love this game so much and I'm here to enjoy it, so like I had to change my perspective there. So I stopped seeing the like grueling long time you invest through the waves and started just seeing as like positive learning and like being able to know that I am improving. As when I went back to this one day, one attempt type thing, I started seeing improvements in my skill and getting a lot further and deeper in the waves and sometimes facing Zook. So that felt really good. It's just unfortunate that I went through this tilt phase, but yeah, I do have to thank my partner for that. She got me out of that slump and kind of made me realize like what I'm actually doing this for, you know, and I'm forever grateful for that support. So from now on, we're going to be a bit more positive, and you know, if we don't make it to Zook in our one attempt per day, I just move on and do other stuff. Like, maybe I still need to do Yama with Frox, and I gotta keep my prayer regen potions topped up so I can do some mastering mixology as like a chill grind. And yeah, basically that's it. Let's get back to more Zook attempts. No! No! I was so close again! Oh, I shouldn't have waited for the set. Oh my god. That is fucked. No! Okay.
Nope.
Oh, I had it in the fucking bag. I should have just fucking rushed healers. What is wrong with me? Alright. During my Inferno grind, I was also partaking in Deadman Armageddon, or Deadman Annihilation? I can't even remember the name of it at this stage, but this was my very first Deadman that I've ever taken part in, and I can safely say from a noob in terms of PvP, this was extremely fun this time around. I hope the main thing that they take from this is that the bank keys system was just really bad, because this was the first Deadman where if you died, you only lost what you had on you. Nothing else. So super good. Very, very happy with that. But with Deadman comes some cosmetic rewards that I've wanted to get from previous Deadmans and also from the current one. One of those is the new Crystal Armor and Bofa skin. There was also a Voidwaker skin and a Majorina 2 cape skin. So I got all of those, and yeah, like look how sick the Bofa looks. I really, really like this. I don't even care that pretty much everyone is going to have this armor theme. It just looks so cool. I'll be keeping it for a long time. And the Voidwaker 2, so cool. Same with the Majorina 2 cape with the skull on the back. Like, it's really cool. I also got a new POH team, and it is wilderness themed. And it even comes with the orange portal. So I thought that was extremely cool. And yeah, I'm very happy. Deadman gave me a nice break from the Inferno too. I was very happy with this. And yeah, let's get back into the Inferno runs. And obviously we'll be doing one a day, and in between that I'll be trying to replenish my prayer regen pots using Mastering Mixology. Shit. Damn, the healer phase is just so tough. Holy. Back with the new Deadman crystal armor and the new perspective. We die at healers. Nothing much that I could have changed here, honestly. It was pretty tough, the healer phase, honestly. But I could actually make the healer phase a lot cleaner. I wasn't running to the very edge of the barrier, which would have helped me take less damage. Yeah, I was just panicking repeatedly with the panic redemption, and I could have made it a lot cleaner, but yep. Unfortunate, but we go again tomorrow. We made it to triple jobs again. So you know what that means. That means we are going to hop into the simulator and do this right. We gotta lock in, get the Zook. It's been a while since we got the Zook. Like a good few days of practices, so hopefully we can lock in and we do this right this time. Whew! We finally cleared triple jobs again. Yeah, so it's time to practice on the Zook trainer. I'm going to get extremely comfortable on the simulator. Even if I die here, I just want to try eliminate those nerves that I get when the healer phase comes. And if all goes to plan, we might have an infernal cape here. Supplies are looking great too. We got 5 brews and 1 dose. We've got 6 super restores. Like, that's crazy. I may as well just get full prayer and drink one of those. So when I log in, I'm gonna use my range pot and get ready. Unfortunately, we do perish here. The ranger just was not humble, and I had to pray mage, and he just smacks me out. It is what it is. We move on to the next Zook attempt. Ooh, that's triple jobs done. Right, we gotta practice for Zook yet again. But that feels good. I'm gonna drop this. We only have 4 brews this time, which is a bit rough. But we will see how we get on. Very nice indeed. That feels good. No. Oh, that's unfortunate. The second set spawned. I could have killed the healer, maybe. Yeah, is what it is. Once I shifted my perspective, I started doing these 1 time per day kind of attempts. I started really enjoying the process of the Inferno. I actually love this type of content so much. It's very rewarding to solve the waves. And as the days went on, I really did feel myself improving every single attempt. I was getting to at least triple jads more and more every single day, and that's all I could ask for. Triple jads done. Sort my inventory yet again. And we are gonna send Zook again. I've genuinely lost count as to what attempt this is, but let's hope we can lock in and get it this time. We're gonna log out and do a practice run, and then we're gonna just full send it. Could have waited for healers. That is so unlucky. I just think I need to keep an eye out on the timer a bit more. Like, I felt like that was quick, but it wasn't. But I didn't lose my cool in that one. That was clean. Up until that second set spawned, that was very clean. So, very happy with that. Nice. Triple Jads is getting to the point where I feel like I definitely can be clearing that every time. So it feels good. So now we have yet another attempt at Zook. I've genuinely lost the amount of attempts that I've done at Zook, but yeah, just gotta lock in. Try get good RNG to get him down to 600 HP where the timer pauses, and if I feel like it's quick enough, we're gonna send healers before second set, kill healers, then try kill Zook, and obviously the second set most likely will spawn. So I just need good RNG. I need the ranger to be humble, and we can do this. Nice. Right, and we just wait a bit for my run energy, and we send Jad. I think that was fairly quick, so I think I'm gonna just push it for the healers this time and see what happens. No! Oh my god, humble. Okay, focus. Ooh. Let's go. We did it, cleared second set. Just focus up and don't get hit. Come on. I love my noodle bow. Yes. 50 HP. Yes. Yes. Come on. 4 HP. 4 HP. Yes! We fucking did it! We fucking did it! Yes! We fucking did it! Oh my god, yes! Yes! Oh my god! Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! We did it! Let's fucking go! Oh my god, not even close. Oh, that was so clean. I did take a Zuck hit, but holy shit. Let's go. The clan is going crazy. Look. Woohoo! There it is. Budget setup 2 hours 14 minutes. Infernal Cape on Wick Lizard. That is crazy. Oh, right. Let's see how it looks on my back. Woo! I am a fucking gamer. We did it. Oh my god. I'm crying. I'm actually crying. That was so tough. I see why people, I know like everyone says it's the hardest, but you don't, like, I get it. I fucking get it. Holy shit. Oh, that has to be my cleanest run yet as well. Oh my god. Right, let's get out the melee gear. And let's look like a fucking beast. Is that everything for melee? That is everything for melee. Look at this. We went from having a fire cape to having the infernal cape. And as you can see here with the stats, it's a +4 in melee strength, which is actually pretty massive. I thought it was just +1. And a couple of attack bonuses and a little bit extra defense. Holy shit. I cannot believe I actually did it, even though I've been grinding this for literally a month. Like, I got to a stage where I was getting a little bit tilted for sure, and I kind of sat down with my partner, and she kind of helped me, like, just remove those nerves. Like, like, why am I stressing over this? It is a game at the end of the day, and I'm supposed to be enjoying myself. And so then I just started going back to those one attempts a day kind of thing. I felt so much better. I was just doing mastering mixology, maybe a bit of duo content in between. I went back and got my fire cape just so that I can do more content. And that really unlocked something for me, so I can't thank her enough. And geez, the work that I put in, it's been almost a month now without a video because I wanted this video to be the Infernal. So hell yeah, that is, I can't believe that. Like, I'm actually a little bit in shock. I have an Infernal cape. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, shit. Um that was kind of, the Colosseum and the Infernal were like really extremely big goals for me on this account, and I think now whatever I do, I'll still be making videos, but I think I'm gonna start working towards max. So every episode after this, hopefully we're gonna see a segment where we make our way towards max slowly. First on the chopping block for me in particular is I want to get rune crafting and agility out of the way. If I can get these two to 99, then I think every other 99 is just very, very easy in comparison. Either it's extremely AFK or it's way quicker than Agi and or C. So yeah, that is me for now. I am over the moon. Words cannot describe how happy I am with that achievement. Um, so yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Maybe we'll get back into raids for a bit. There's so much PVM that I wanted to do, but I locked myself to this content. And yeah, I'm so happy that I have this beautiful Inferno cape now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.